Hello and welcome to the Jordan Powers Experience. My name is Jordan Powers, and on today's episode I am joined by the one and only Malusi Mabaleka. Malusi is an amazing human being, popular dude around town. Him and his brother Cozy are in a band called Mabaleka, and we had a blast chatting. We talked about topics ranging from their travels in Ireland and starting out busking and then eventually finding a venue, what it means to be a Kelowna artist, and what it means for him to be in the country music scene here in Canada. So I know I had a good time, definitely a little bit too much fun. I probably drank too much whiskey on this one, so hopefully I don't embarrass myself, but I hope you guys enjoy the conversation. I know there's lots to be learned from Malusi in this one, so I hope you enjoy it. So, quick word from my supporters though, starting with Oakham Cannabis. Oakham Cannabis is a locally owned, family-run cannabis producer specializing in high THC, organic cannabis and oils. They've been doing this for about 2 years now, using environmentally friendly practices, and they're now officially in local cannabis stores here in BC, so make sure you go into your closest one, ask for Smoke 'em Oakham or Smoke 'em Discover, and maybe even say Jordan Power sent you. They won't know who I am. My second supporter is Garnish Barware. Garnish Barware specializes in custom engraved cocktail kits. They're trusted behind some of Canada's busiest bars. You can get laser engraved custom cocktail kits or flasks all online at www.garnishbarware.com. They're all done here locally in town by my man Griffin, so make sure you go and check them out. And yeah, without wasting any more time, here is my episode with the one and only Malusi Mabaleka.
To suffer.
One more, give me another line.
Good morning, folks. We are here at Hot Hits 99.69.9.
Or Power 104 the Lizard. All right, check. All right, 3, 2, 1. Malusi Mabaleka.
My man.
How are you, my man?
Couldn't be better.
Yeah, how you doing? You doing well?
Yeah. I'm doing well. Honestly, I say that all the time. Like, I'm doing well. And then I think about like how I'm doing. I'm like, damn, no, today was tough, man.
It's one of those situations where like, how are you doing? Like, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I gotta be honest. I've never been like a small talk guy. Even when I was young, I used to get in trouble with like some like old work I used to do. They'd be like, Malu, like, you never say good morning. You never ask how my day is. I'm like, dude, I'll ask you when I care. Like,
yeah. That's saying something.
But no.
Well, Malusi, I am ecstatic to have you on, my man. And you brought some gifts.
Of course, dude.
Yeah. Do you want to pop this? Do you want to pop this for the boys?
Let's get it going.
We got some whiskey that you recommended. I've never had this before.
Suntory, the Japanese whiskey, man. But always got to get it.
Give you the honors. We'll rock 2 going on here.
Honestly, dude, I'm honored to be here. I brought the champagne. I was like, to celebrate your success and just like life, man.
Well, I appreciate it, and yeah, but no, the pleasure is mine. I've been stoked to call you a friend since you came into town, and I'm sure we'll get into your history. Oh,
you're too kind. Sorry.
That's one of my favorite sounds. I don't know if that's my favorite sound or when a beer cracks. That's a pretty good sound too. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. But yeah, man, I'm stoked to have you on because you are a multi-talented person, a very intellectual, cool person, and just an all-around dope dude to have around. So cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers to me, I guess.
Tasty. Now, which one is the appetizer, the whiskey or the bubbly? And which one's the main course? I don't know.
Honestly, they kind of go well together.
Yeah, I'll be switching the whole time. Yeah, man. So, Malusi, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell the audience who you are and what you got going on.
Oh, damn. Who am I? Malusi Mabaleka.
Nice. That's a
the
dope
whole
name.
Malusi Mabaleka is what people know me as. Malusi means shepherd. It's supposed to shepherd my younger siblings. And that's a big part of me, the bros.
How many siblings do you have?
There's two of us, actually. There are two of them.
Oh, okay, because I know Cozy.
Cozy, yeah. So,
I don't think I've met your other sibling.
Andile, he's 16 years old, going to grade 12 right now. He's, I mean, you like me, you like my bro. He's the guy.
Is he in town here? Or?
No, he lives, he's in high school. He lives with my parents in Ottawa.
Okay.
So, yeah, the Mabaleka clan, me, like, born in Zimbabwe, moved to Halifax when I was 2, moved to Ottawa, grade 6. In between that, went to Zimbabwe, which was wild, and then moved to Saskatoon midway through university, Kelowna 2 years ago. So I've been all around the country and did all that with Cozy, my other brother, who's just 2 years younger, 20 months exactly. And yeah, man, we've been in a band together, just traveling kind of the world, I guess. Like,
yeah,
we got to go to Europe and all that, but yeah, so just been new to Kelowna, getting involved in the community. COVID actually, obviously fucked shit up with music, but it's been a good year of self-discovery.
Do you have memories of Zimbabwe, and is that your family's heritage, or did you guys move to Zimbabwe as well?
So the whole family is in Zim.
Okay.
Like everything. So we're kind of...
So grandma, grandpa, that kind of thing? Yeah, wow.
Everybody, yeah. A few obviously have gone like around the world and traveled, but that's a part of it too. Like coming here so young, I didn't get to meet everyone and get to know everyone that well and grow up around like big family and like hanging out with the cousins and all the uncles and aunts all the time. So it's been a pretty small, like close-knit family for sure. But so going back in those times was really for me like getting to meet them and having like some people come visit us over the years, but Canada's cold and Zim is not. So.
Well, my mom is the youngest of 11.
Damn.
And most of her family is out in Calgary. And so it's like, it's pretty wild. I actually, I feel bad sometimes because I'm so bad at keeping up with everybody. But like, are you able to kind of contact your family? And
we got a group chat. We got the WhatsApp. Nice. We got a WhatsApp group chat. I'm not good in group chats. I'm not a big texter.
Me neither, man. Me neither.
So it's stressful. Like you wake up every day, there's like 50 notifications and it's like opposite time difference. So it's always like when I'm sleeping and it's always in the native language, it's like Indebele. So kind of mixed. So I often don't even understand some of the conversation, but it's good to be out there and like just feeling a part of the family and, this is going to be posted in the chat and everyone's going to be like, yo, Malu, like killing it.
Yeah.
Congrats, brother. Congrats, like nephew, whatever. And like all that, which like you didn't really get before all the technology. So it's been dope, man.
Yeah.
It's dope.
People talk about technology and social media and stuff. And it's a blessing and a curse. And that's definitely one of the blessings is how connected we can be to our family and people who live abroad, from where we're at. So
yeah,
it's beautiful.
It's definitely changing the game.
Definitely.
I mean, I know you're the one asking questions, but dude, as a filmmaker, like even just as a film observer, like back when they had to switch over from like the analog to like the digital and even like IMAX, it just like changes how artists make. And I see that in your world and definitely felt the effects, especially this year with COVID. Like in some ways it had always been like a blessing to be able to share more content, but it's changed how you like even make your content and has one wondering like, yeah, you just wonder how it affects you as yourself as an artist.
Totally. Yeah. And I don't want to downplay any of your skills as well, because my world's your world. You're an actor.
Oh, man.
You're an actor, dog.
It's so weird, dude. I started acting in high school. It was my first love.
Really? Before music or?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's provide the audience with some context.
Let's get some context.
You grew up in Saskatchewan, correct? You said you moved there when you were 2?
No. So I moved to Halifax when I was 2.
Okay.
All right, I'll give a more detailed explanation. I moved to Halifax when I was 2. And then in grade 6, did 1 week of grade 6 there. And I love growing up in Halifax, the East Coast. Fuck yeah. Nice. All the stereotypes of just like being the best people, they're true, especially Newfoundland. But did 1 week of grade 6 in Halifax and then moved to Ottawa. Joined these kids that had been, in the same class since kindergarten. And then at that Christmas, so just a couple months of that Christmas, moved to Zimbabwe for a year. So then in Ottawa, I'm just like this new kid from the Maritimes, which no one talks about. I mean, out here in BC, people call the East Coast like Ontario. That's what they're talking about. They don't even consider like the actual coast,
the real East Coast.
Yeah. And so I'm in Ottawa, and people are like these same questions, like, "Oh, Malusi from the East, tell us about the Great Explosion." And I was like, I just learned about it. I don't know. Like,
what's the Great Explosion?
Oh, dude, you don't even know about the Great Explosion?
No, dude.
Man, like the fucking ship came in the harbor, and everyone was like, the Citadel Hill, they're like, "Oh, that ship's in danger," or whatever. And then it like blew up in the harbor. Massive explosion in the Halifax harbor and like destroyed like the downtown core.
I have heard of that. Yeah. I just didn't know. I thought you were talking about like a volcano that erupted or something.
Oh, no. Honestly, if that happened, people wouldn't even know about it. Like, it could be the other great explosion. You only get one.
Yeah, the part two.
Part two. No, man. But yeah, it's funny. It's just like eye-opening as a kid when you move. What people like think of you based on where you came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a West Coast boy, born and raised. You know, so I was born in New Westminster. Grew up in Maple Ridge, just outside of Vancouver, until I was 11 years old, and then we moved to the Okanagan. And my dad grew up in the Okanagan. My mom used to visit here from Calgary for her vacations and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I'm a West Coast boy, born and raised. Have you been east?
Like,
no. The only time I've ever been like east was, I think I was in the Toronto airport for a couple hours when I was going to Florida in 2019. So. Yeah. So I've never
just a few years ago.
Yeah. My goal is to definitely like do the trek across Canada and stuff like that. I haven't been lucky enough to do that. I haven't really traveled much, unfortunately. I wish I could.
It's a blessing, especially to travel our country, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel so lucky that I've been able to not just like tour and perform across it, but like to live in most of the provinces, and it's fucking dope, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's so much to be loved, and it's so different. You definitely notice like the differences by province, and it's just like so Canadian. It's like, yeah, you're that Canadian, like
yeah,
the hockey talk.
Like, the hockey. Oh man, the hockey kids.
You can tell by the hockey talk.
It's wild how much hockey kids have like established our like I don't even know what to call it. Like
our slang.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, you know. So do you consider yourself overall an artist, or are you a musician first? Are you an actor first? Are you just an artist in general? Because I would consider you an artist in general.
Damn. Thank you.
A Renaissance man.
Man, just call me Kanye.
I'll let you finish.
Honestly, that's a question that I just learned the answer to, and I was thinking about it biking here, actually.
Oh wow.
About and so like I said before, like acting was my first love. That was because I grew up shy, and so that was like my parents putting me in situations where I would like just be around other kids and like learn how to like talk and present myself. And then I discovered like that's how I express myself. And so I fell in love with acting. I was pursuing like film, living in Ottawa, driving to Montreal, Toronto for auditions. And with that, I like fell in love with the stage and like musical theater. And then I started learning instruments because I was forced to play the piano growing up. So there was like this disconnect of like loving to play, but like having the passion also to like express. And so I felt like I always had to do one at a time. You can never do them all. Mm-hmm. Similar to sports, which I was into as well. And so I think as of late, like going through all of those journeys and kind of almost like having to quit acting so I could do music, and then having to stop music and like pursue it truly for a long time and find bits of opportunities to like showcase like and practice and like still love acting and find ways to like do cool music videos or just like all the skits and videos we always make. It's just like I just love to like be other people, I guess, or be a character in a big way and to perform. And so recently, as I've been like not able to do any of that through COVID, but also by like kind of choice to just like not carry on right now, just discovering that like I do have a passion and that like it's in me. It's just, it is me. And that is an artist. And I'm not restricted by the boundaries that I had created for myself. I'm only restricted by like whatever boundaries I put up. And right now it's kind of like nothing. And so for the first time, I'm like, damn, I'm an artist. When you're like, what are you going to do next? It's like everything that I've been wanting to ever do, I'm like thinking about how can I make that happen? You know, like everything that I've learned and pursuing all of those things and kind of trying to make it, that was just practice. You know, that was the audition tape, I guess, because I feel fucking like young and inspired and like a real artist that has now not just experience in like trying and pursuing, but also like something to say. And it's almost like I know that I have something to say. And so now I'm like, all right, what is it? How do you want to say it? It's time.
That's so interesting, man. I was trying so hard not to just fucking freak out there and just like start screaming and because like that was powerful what you just did. And I've been seeing a post going around Instagram recently where it was like, I'm gonna butcher the actual quotations and the actual quote. So this I'm paraphrasing, but it goes along with something like playing music, acting, art, that kind of thing. It's a human expression, and we've lost the fact that it doesn't matter how good or bad you are at that.
Yeah.
As a human, you're supposed to do this stuff. You're supposed to express yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you know how to play piano or not. If you feel the need to go downtown Kelowna and see that piano sitting on the walkway downtown and just like do it. Like that's what
anything.
being human is. You shouldn't be limited to your ability to be good or bad in somebody else's eyes based on what they perceive as good and bad. Like being human is to express yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And isn't that exciting?
It's totally.
It's so exciting. Like,
yeah, like I'm not a good singer. I'm not a good rapper, but man, I'll sing and I'll rap.
Man,
I
there's
don't
something
care.
about freestyle rapping that just like when you're doing it, this is what we do at my house. It's like there's a song or something like, yo, freestyle rap, and you got to throw a topic down, and it's like if you're feeling it, say something.
Yeah.
It'll probably be terrible, but like that energy you get, you're like, okay, what am I gonna say? What do I feel? And then you just like let your words pour out, and you're like, wow, I actually have words. And then you like build on that, and you're like, damn, like I just freestyle rap, and you're just smiling, and like that's it.
So was the household you grew up in, was it a musical household? Like were you?
The house I grew up in, was it musical? Yeah, but not in the way that people, I feel like, mean when they ask. Like none of my parents play instruments, and like our family, I mean, I guess my uncle in Zim is like a world-renowned like producer in like Africa. So when you see Mabaleka, when you Google Mabaleka, like we're not the first to come up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe now because we got that SEO going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we're not the first to like have like musical ability, but it was never like pursued in a way. Like my dad loves music. We were put into choirs in the church, and that's where we grew up learning music. And like with our family, my mom's pretty shy, and so she'll always be in the audience and cheering us on and everything. But you know, open that dance floor, like we dance, and like the whole family, it definitely has like, there's always music playing. Grew up with like not a lot of CDs around, but like Boys to Men, Michael Jackson, just like some classic artists, and my parents that my parents loved. And so definitely grew up with like the love and appreciation. And I think they really pushed us to acquire the talent to be able to like express ourselves that way, because there's always music around, but it wasn't necessarily the focus. I would say I grew up in a business household.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
Why would you say that?
That's what we learned. So like when you talk about what would we be talking around the dinner table, or on a long drive to like a soccer tournament. What are we discussing? Well, that's where we learned stocks on those journeys. And then we had like our portfolios that we'd have to pick and choose and follow. And then on Friday nights, like watch the ticker tape go down with the parents. And it was like fun and exciting, but it was like, it's business. It's understanding business. Shit that, you don't get taught, but like to be successful, like you just need to know it. But my parents came from like a different world as well, where perhaps like the luxury of being able to like pursue some of these like artistic passions and like other things that don't necessarily guarantee stability, because they grew up during like a war and independence and stuff. So they definitely, had to play with a smaller deck of cards in terms of opportunity, but thrive in that and like find passion and love in that. So that's also understanding industry and business and how to like create opportunities for yourself so that one day you can do that. So I mean, like now that we're here, like my dad's got the bass guitar. He's like one of the lead guys in the choir, like singing and leading and like playing bass. We had the drum kits and all this stuff around the house to dive into those interests. So it's kind of like it started a little bit smaller than a music household. I think it started like through business and understanding how to create, and then making freedom from that.
It's one of those things, growing up in Canada, that I think a lot of people in my position don't realize is like the privilege to be able to pursue these alternative careers, something like being a musician, something like being an actor, something like being an athlete, isn't always top of the mind for people when they're growing up,
Yeah.
And hearing that like your parents were like, yo, this is first and foremost, let's get our money right kind of thing, so that you can have these other experiences, is I think a very important lesson to realize and a very important perspective to talk about.
Totally, bro. And it's crazy, like amidst all that, I think that's why like the band is Mabaleka, because it's not about like whatever, like honestly I don't know what it's not about, but I know that it's about making sure that like this is for the family. Anyone with that last name knows that, historically, like anyone with the last name Mabaleka, like we are related 100% guaranteed. And so to have that name is to be like, wow, like look at you, like we out here shining bright, let's go. And as also be an example, because my only goal is to ever like be a role model for kids that grew up like me. And I'm like pretty regular, didn't grow up with like too much, but like parents that had me through university and like, struggled to give me opportunities, but made ends meet, not in like any like super tragic way, but just like was working, hustling, taught me how, and every parent wants their kids to do better. And they raised me that way. And now I want to make sure every other kid can also like do better, but I gotta do it first, right?
And so what is Mabaleka, the band?
Mabaleka the band. It's me and my brother. He goes by Cozy. I call him Kasi.
Kasi?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
Honestly, you go to Ontario, no one calls him Cozy out there. But I think it's just a name that he's grown into more. So, but I call him Kasi. Like since I was born, I couldn't say his whole name, so that was the shortened form from Cozy. I couldn't get that bus sound, so I was like, Kasi.
And I'm excited to have him on the podcast also.
Oh, bro, he's nothing but nonsense. You don't need him out here. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously.
But we're being honest.
Stay away, folks. No, we have fun. But that's the thing, too. Like, so it's him and I. We started playing music. Damn. We were... It's always just been him and I. So like, I don't even know when we started playing, but we started recording. We were doing rap back in the day. And I mean, it's no secret, but like we were dropping albums, songs, mixtapes, fucking diss tracks, high school.
Oh, diss tracks?
Shout out C-Mills, shout out H2O, Halifax to Ottawa.
Oh, is that who you were dissing? Or?
M3, no, that's the crew. My rap name was M3. His was BK Fresh. Nice. He had mad lyrics. He's a good songwriter. Yeah. He's always had mad lyrics.
What were you dissing dudes about back in the day?
Oh man, the thing was, we would. So everyone was rapping in our high school at that time. And so like someone would like make fun of someone and we would stand up for them, like especially if they were like any of the girls. Some guy
you boys are ladies men at the end of the day.
Of course. Of course, every song. This one's for the ladies. Yeah, we started rapping then. It's funny, a lot of music for me, like he's always been a little bit ahead in that regard. He started learning guitar, and then I was more interested in the drums. Like I remember I was listening to a lot of like, I was in my emo. Yeah, I was listening to like Accidents, like the streets are in distress. Yeah, like that was my jam. Just like
I was a big Green Day guy going up. My first concert was American Idiot at Rogers Center in Vancouver. Yeah. Don't want to be an American Idiot.
Shows were crazy back then, dude.
Dude.
Shows were crazy.
I grew up on that shit, man. Yeah.
That was like, those were some golden years.
100%.
Much music. Like everything was crazy back then. But he was listening to like Eric Clapton at that time.
Damn.
And like AC/DC and like playing guitar and like learning that. And I was like, dude, like why? Like, and then like, but then like I got into it afterwards and he was onto something else. He was onto like hip hop, like T.I. and like he had that kind of flow. And like he got into Tupac, Biggie, and I was like all about Kanye at that time. So we would just always have a disconnect, but I would almost catch up or we would like switch.
Yeah.
Which was, it was always interesting because we never had the same musical taste at the same time.
And you're the older brother, right?
Older, yeah.
That's so funny because my sister and I are the same way. She's the younger sibling, but like she put me on to acting and filmmaking as a career before I realized that was an option. It was almost like
did she make you do it for her?
Not for her, but she made me realize that it was an option. Like she's more of a trailblazer than I am. I'll sit back and I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna wait. You know, I'm gonna see if this is the right move, if this makes sense. And she's just like, fuck that, I'm doing it. And like,
is she the oldest? Like,
she's the youngest.
Oh, she's the youngest.
Yeah.
You just said that.
Yeah. And she, like, for example, like the earliest example is we're 3 years apart. And I don't remember this. I just hear it from my family. But she learned how to ride a bicycle without the tricycle wheels before I did. And like I was 3 years older than her, and so like I don't remember this. Like
wait. Like at the time, she could ride a bike without.
So basically,
couldn't.
I was doing the training wheel thing. And she's 3 years younger than me, and she's doing the training wheel thing. And then one day she was like, fuck these training wheels.
Damn.
I'm going to ride two wheels. And then she did it, and I'm still riding training wheels.
In front of you?
Yeah.
Dude, stunting on everybody.
But I went, fuck that. And that day I learned how to ride two wheels. And so,
shit, man.
So it's just like she's a trail. It's just funny how like the younger sibling can be that trailblazer sometimes.
No doubt.
What's
your sister's name again?
Sydney,
yeah. Shout out Sydney.
Shout out Sid, yeah. She's
but
got
I'm
a
also
podcast
proud of you, brother, too.
Like, thank you. Yeah, I still put the training wheels on every now and again if I get scared, you know.
Hey, why not? Safety first.
But yeah, so you and your brother you guys were doing the whole music thing. He was kind of trailblazing in a certain sense with like guitar and all that. And then what did you guys find country music and decide that was going to be your angle?
So essentially, we were playing at our church through our youth group. And this was also the time where we kind of, like, we grew up Catholic, but this was the time when we kind of like connected with the church more. Like we had a youth group started at our church, and the thing that hit me was that first night when they were doing the music at our youth mass, like for the first time. I was like, yo, like this music's pretty tight. Like in terms of like live music being played right now, like this is impressive, and this is what I'm into, and I want to learn. Like, and that's what brought me in. I just wanted to be cool like those guys. And so in that band scenario, my brother was guitarist and the singer, like the lead singer, and I was the drummer. Love and Life. And just we were really into Hillsong United, and like Joel Houston and Marty Sampson up front were just like, this first time I ever saw two people lead music in tandem and have two different like voices and styles, but like just do it together. Like oftentimes you see like that one rock star up front and it seems like the band is forgotten. But like to see like more of unison and also like two leaders up front. And we would like literally play release a video concert with their DVDs and CDs, and we would just play the concert through every day after high school. And I say play like I was playing guitar because I was learning guitar because I was sitting back at church drumming, watching my brother shine. I was like, fuck, I gotta be up there. Like, it's gotta be me up there. Like, it can't just be my little bro up there killing it. So that's why I started learning guitar. I was jealous, man.
I'm the same way.
And
That's
so,
what
like,
it was.
Yeah. And so like started learning and then he taught me guitar. Like there was no like animosity, but it was like, I need to be up there shining, man. Like just him? Like, come on now. There's room for two. There's room for two. And it became the dream, but because it wasn't reliant on me, it's always been for me like to do it with him as like brothers, because that's just like what we always did. It was just the two of us at daycare, there's the two of us at school, or two of us in Zimbabwe, two of us, you know, our parents were busy like grinding it out to give us opportunities. So with the church, we were playing music that, of course, we believe in it, like just because we were faithful and part of the community, and like, but at some point we were kind of like, this is just kind of preaching to the choir a little bit in terms of the message we want to give. Like, we want to give a wholesome message, and not necessarily, but yeah, just whatever. Give whatever message you want to give. We need to maybe like not put ourselves in like this box per se,
right?
Especially considering, honestly, I wanted to seek more mainstream success, and not necessarily like through the church in that route, but through like to open up doors to do other things with acting and pursue other styles of music too. And country music is a place that's very welcoming. We were kind of skewing that way, and if you were around that time, it was like Darius Rucker was dropping, Keith Urban was killing it, like Tim McGraw, some of these artists that are just really strumming and playing like some really, really cool songs they're more new wave for sure, but still had like a folky fun tinge to it. We were hitting the country bars at the time, and like the energy of the music was just like, it was all there. And also that's the community that accepted us in terms of like, was like, yeah, down, like we'll play shows together. And like, and we were all about it. And it wasn't always met with like love all the time, but it's definitely a very welcoming community, especially considering our style of music. I would say would be at that time, if you look at some of our old like coffee shop gigs, like we're playing more like aggressive acoustic, punk, Never Shout Never kind of stuff. Like Dallas Green, but a little heavier, not very like soft and silky you think of like at the time, but slam that with a little of that smoothness of John Mayer dropping hits around that age. And then Ed Sheeran was coming up, and there's that folk kind of rebirth, but like with energy and passion. And that's where we like really dove in. And so we were in that world between country and folk. And the folk world is quite broad, especially in terms of like what kind of folk, you know, it's like, which is so fair and so beautiful. And we just didn't know. We were just playing also it's like fun country songs. And literally, I mean, we mix like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy with Fresh Prince. That's how we close every one of our shows. And it feels right. You know, it's like, there's like, what else would they play? These guys, you know? And so love country music. The community has been great and is great. And we found a home there. So that's definitely where it all began. And I mean, it's always just been, there's been no end goal in terms of when this, then that. It's always been, all right, we want to perform. So we did some coffee shops and coffee houses and open mics. People loved it. So we're like, we want to write a song. We wrote a song. We released it. People loved it. We're like, let's do that again. Let's go on a tour. We did it. It went well. And it's just always been like, let's just keep trying the next thing. And kind of, no one ever told us to stop. And we were taught business from day one. So we built a business. the way we want it to.
How would you describe that feeling of somebody telling you not to stop? That idea of like you put something out there, something that you're passionate about, and then people actually like it. And then you go, hey, people like this. Like, let me do this again.
Yeah.
And then they like that. So let me do it again. And then they like that. And then you do it again. Like, how do you describe that feeling, and like what do you think that is? Why do you think people like what you guys do so much?
I think for us the feeling has been accepted. I would say it's interesting because for me, I think my drive, two thoughts. To answer your question directly, your first question about what is it in terms of being told no, not to continue, it's really tough because you take that as a rejection of who you are. For me, I allowed that to motivate me.
Did people tell you no at the beginning?
Yeah. Not a lot of people. I will say this. When I was first starting out, especially like musical theater, my mom would be like, I mean, I got made fun of a lot through high school, actually.
I was scared to do theater because I thought I would get made fun of. I thought I was too short to do it. I thought like actors had to be tall, handsome type guys. So I was scared to do theater when I did it. So
interesting. And you know, it's funny. It's so terrifying, but everyone wishes that they had done it because it's so fun. And so in theater, you find it's just a bunch of, in a way, misfits.
Yeah.
You know, people that just want to do it, but have also been cast away. And I'll say that is the part of my answer. It's that sense of being unwanted or unaccepted by the masses that you learn to rely on yourself for joy. And so when you finally join the theater club and you're having fun, you're like, wow, everyone can make fun of me, but because this is worth it. Because the fun I'm having here and this family I'm having here, the people like that are so distantly but nearly dear in my heart are like the cast of like Your Good Man Charlie Brown and my like grade 12 high school year. Like we love each other so much, and we don't really talk that much anymore. But I know what our connection is because of those hours together. You know what it means to be part of a team, to get that acceptance.
I experienced that through my soccer team growing up, my Okanagan Huskies.
No doubt.
I'm Huskies, you know, like we grinded and yeah, we don't talk much like but I'm some of my best friends played on that team. We're still in touch, but yeah, like I think we all have that connection still.
Yeah. And then in the arts, even in sports when you carry on, but in the arts, like you learn to just, because there are other artists that have been accepted by the masses early on and things kind of seem easier for them. They probably not, but they just seem that way. For me, feeling, and I was thinking about this today, feeling rejected a lot has given me the opportunities or put me at those intersections where I need to decide, am I defeated or am I moving on? And I was always taught to move on. Unfortunately, but thankfully, like, you know, my parents have been through a lot. And I feel a great desire and need for me to make all of that work worthwhile, but not just for me, because their work is not just for me. It's for our whole family. It's for Zimbabwe. They're still building businesses to support all that's going on back home and beyond. And so who am I to sit around and just bask in the fucking heat wave of Kelowna? Yes, I did it, but there's more work to be done. And so I always try to choose not to be defeated because I also want to be happy. It's like life is still good. So take that road. And so now in those moments of someone saying, no, like you shouldn't go on, I'm kind of like, that's a great opinion to have for you. But like the reason I'm doing this is much bigger than that. And it has nothing to do with someone with your attitude because I can't be around that. Like, if I want to be successful, I need to surround myself with at least positive support.
Do you remember the first show you and your brother Cozy played as Mabaleka?
Yeah, definitely. There's a competition at Cabin country bar in Ottawa downtown. Shout out.
Cabin's it's a country bar downtown.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it's a dirty,
that was your
dirty bar.
first show. Was a country bar.
It was it was a contest too.
Damn.
It was a contest.
That's intense.
Well, those videos are on YouTube. It was great. We won. We killed it.
What?
Yeah,
Your
man.
first show?
We don't lose.
W's only.
W's all the
W's
way.
only.
Not in a contest.
That's amazing.
Actually, you might have came second, but
Well, fuck it. The people who got first didn't deserve it, regardless.
I mean, everyone knows that. Yeah, everyone knows that we should have won if we didn't.
Tell me about that. What was that like? What was that experience of preparing for it, doing it, and then the feeling after?
Dude, incredible. Definitely not one of our greatest shows because we.
Of course,
get
it was
better,
your first
but
one.
No mistakes, clean run. It were some tough songs too.
What did you play?
Oh, we did.
Originals or
I don't think we had any originals at the time. I also think the contest was required like 2 covers, oftentimes. So like,
and so why did you guys do this? What made you decide to do?
opportunity to perform. At that point, we had probably performed at a couple coffee houses, but nothing necessarily official. I mean, if we're talking way back, like that was probably our first show that we played as like a band officially, but we always had fun. I mean, we were rapping before that too, right? So like,
Right.
we had performed. Performing was not new. So at this stage, dude, like we used to practice every day for like 3-4 hours. We're just college kids that were, you know, university is pretty easy. Kind of. If you got your priorities right.
That's what you take.
Yeah.
University was super easy for me. I never went.
Yeah. I mean, the first year, second year, you get by.
Yeah, I did trades. I did 2 years of automotive. That's what I did.
Oh, hey, that's good work though.
Yeah,
That's good work.
It is what it is.
At least you got like some skills.
Something like that.
I mean, we were practicing back to back in our apartment, separate rooms with earpieces to practice being able to perform our songs without having to see each other. Like that's what we were doing in the early days. Just intense training to be the best, so that all you're working with are fighting against are your nerves on the stage. And we nailed it. And then obviously at that point, we also just had to get better at singing. I mean, I'll be the first to say, I'm not the most amazing singer. I'm not like John Legend on the keys, gonna whisk you away with my voice. But you throw me on the mic, I'll sing you some James Brown. You're gonna feel it in your bones. You might shed a tear, but you know it's coming straight from the heart. And it's just like the best of me. So that's all I can give you. And that's probably like me speaking negatively about myself to bring me down. But that was part of like what working through was like, then we were taking singing lessons and just like enhancing and learning how to sing harmonies and work with each other. And so like the first days were great because they were exciting and we were working and we were hustling and we were excelling exactly how we wanted to. But then it became after that, all right, we can do this. People do love what we're throwing down. And we're being accepted in a way that we thought we might not off the bat. You look at our early YouTube videos, even of that night, like the conversations are fire. And it's a racial debate about country music. And we never once really engaged. Like I was saying, I'm not really a controversial person, or like I'm not really good in those intense moments because I'm just all about love. But other people had stuff to say. Like we didn't have to be a part of it. Our message created the conversation, and wherever it went, I don't even know, but it was being had, and people had it out, which was just like cool to see. Like your art, first of all you motherfuckers saw this? Nice. Go from there. Talk about it. That's art. And it was exciting, and then it also made it real about like this is the reality of like moving forward. Be the best that you can be, you know?
Yeah. So that racial debate happened right from the get-go.
Mainly in the get-go, because from there, I mean, then you just have to play the game right and do well. You know, don't give them a reason to bring you down. You know, present the highest quality that you can present, so that people focus on that. For us, that's our shows, and that's why we perform. That's why we didn't play a lot during COVID, because we're not necessarily in it just to like write songs and to share them with the world. Like that's a big part of it, but we love to perform, we love to be on stage, and we like to connect with humans face to face. A lot of people used to say like, oh, going to your show is kind of like going to see like stand-up comedy and music at the same time. And it's kind of like, because that's, I don't know, I think about like that, like the Green Day concerts, like that Taking Back Sunday. It's like we connected with these bands because like the shows were crazy. Their message was like touching, but like, and it like lingers in our hearts, like those memories of like those moments of like getting to engage as close to that experience of like those writers and the performers as you can. Through like technology, it's easy to connect with more people, but not in the way that like I find the most meaningful. I mean, I don't even like texting, but you know, call me. I'll probably call anybody. I'll call you right away. Come have a podcast chat, you know, like meet up for a drink anytime. And chat and just like get the essence and like that's fucking life, that's humanity, that's like you can't, no one doesn't, I mean, I'm speaking in such generalities.
Yeah, well,
but
the racial side of it kind of fucks me up because I had Brent Carmichael on my podcast. He was the first person actually I had on my episode, and he's a singer. He's definitely more in like the R&B kind of pop side of things.
Yeah.
But he made a T-shirt that said "I'm not a rapper," because everybody that came up to him expected for him to make rap music.
Dude,
you know, just it's purely based upon his skin color, and that's fucked up. That's one of those weird kind of prejudices that is in society, and the fact that you experienced that on your first show ever, especially in country music that is, you know, theoretically a more southern kind of style of music. I remember when you guys did a show at Fernando's, I was talking to Kevin Kishner. Shout out to Kevin Kishner. I love that dude.
Yeah,
and
Kevin.
Yeah, he was like, you know, he was like, oh yeah, these are the only fucking black dudes making country music in town. And I was like, I don't know if that's true, but if it is, it's like, it's sad that that's the reality.
Yeah. And honestly, I guess it's interesting because we also I grew up as, I've been the first black person a lot of people have met, especially like moving more and more west after high school, doing some like missionary work. And so I was getting to just meet and live and experience a lot of new communities and everything. And it's not usually in like a bad negative way, but it's in an interesting way in that like I remember feeling like I never met an indigenous person. And I was like, I hear about them all the time, but like, I just don't know if I've ever met an indigenous person because no one ever said like, hey, I'm indigenous. And I just remember thinking that as a kid and hearing all this stuff. And then being like the first black person that a lot of people have, not a lot, but like people have met, and being in those moments where it's like, get out of here, like whatever, like we don't want you. Like there's been moments where we're doing that, but there's also been moments of just like love and support and being like an example of, you know, what a black person is, what a black man is, who they are, like that you can assume stuff based on the media perhaps that's been presented to you in your situation, which is just your situation. But I'm going to be that real example for you. And so like being out there on the road and stuff and meeting people that's a big part of it too. It's like I once went to this boot camp and we talked about marketing and music, and buddy Liam, fucking great man, great mentor and inspiration in terms of like the industry in Canada. I was like, Liam, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, yeah, we're just a couple of black country singers. He's like, why not? That's who you are. Don't hide from it. You don't have to like put it out there, like just like write on a billboard, but like don't hide from it because you need to market who you are as an artist. And I was like, damn, it's like everyone knows it. I mean, black as hell, but so why not just be it fully in terms of be myself fully on that stage? And then that's when we stopped kind of playing trying to fit a mold and just being ourselves and infusing more of like who we are and putting our spin on the music and the genre. And that's when like we found more success. And in terms of the sex, I mean, just really being hugged by the community and people wanting to connect with us. Maybe some of those really funny experiences where we're playing a small town, like Southern Ontario festival for the day in a small like town or whatever. And, you know, people are like, you guys, you're how do we say your name? You're playing here all day. Country music? Are you really? You guys, you know R&B? And it's like, it's in a fun gestury way of like, you know, you're not trying to be offensive. You just have never seen that in your whole life, perhaps. And we get up there, we play first set, 45 minutes, all country music. Come back down, go to those people. They're like, oh, what do you guys think? Like, that was good. You gonna play more though? Like, you know enough songs? Like, kind of like, just like completely not believing that we're about to play 3 hours straight of country music and do it well. Second set, do it, nail it. I mean, done it 100 times. Go back and like, we're drinking with them, having fun, and they're just like, wow, like, honestly, I didn't believe that you were gonna do it, like that you could do it. Like, you can just see their brain and their, I don't even want to say heart, just their brain shifting and be like, wow, like, you know, like you hear about Darius Rucker killing it, Hootie and the Blowfish coming in and then switching gears and going into country and like doing it and everything. But it's like, you know, some small towns, like you're not even getting bands coming through those towns. And so it really is, it's easy to look maybe down upon some of that thinking, but a lot of people haven't grown up in small town Canada. Like, truly.
Facts.
You know, they don't know what it's like to feel detached and not get opportunities to even get, you know, what you like.
Facts.
You know? And so there's that banter of action of like, we came all this way. You came out here to see us. Though you were unsure, you still came.
Does that inspire you as an artist, or is it disheartening
100%.
as an artist?
No, dude, it's the most beautiful thing about our country because there is no hate. There's only love and wanting to learn. And so we've had some of our greatest nights in the places. I mean, we moved here from Saskatoon and people make fun of Saskatoon. Saskatoon is one of the most cultural bumping towns in like the country. There's so much beautiful art coming out of there. So many, I mean, look at Culture World, Tennille Arts. These are some of our friends that are literally international stars right now. Tennille, we used to be in competitions with her and like she would win them. And we'd be like, oh, fuck, like that should have been us. But she just got like the first #1 single that female produced, written, and like sung single in the States, I believe, since like Shania Twain.
Damn.
Who is also Canadian. Like, there's so much beautiful culture. I mean, we all know Culture World is fucking killing it. There's so much talent. The Dead South, like there's so much talent coming out of Saskatoon. And these are just bands that like we were playing with and like around in this, not even associated with, but like all from Saskatoon, Regina, the area. We were all doing the same circuit and growing out of that. And so when there's this assumption made of other places and communities that you actually don't know anything about, you just think you're better than, like, it really doesn't give you the chance to learn anything. And so we fucking love touring like those small towns and going to meet people that want to see live music and love country music. And we show up and they're shocked. And like, what better night could you have than literally, I mean, we've played so many shows to 3 people that didn't go to the neighboring town to like the curling tournament that weekend because everyone's out there curling. So there's a couple people in town. There's 3 streets. We're playing to those 3 people and the bartender.
Only in Canada.
Dude.
Some dudes don't go to a show because
Right?
everybody's curling somewhere
The
else.
things you see, that is Canada, man. That is Canada.
Oh my God.
That's Canada. And we had the time of our life, man. And then the next week, the next fucking day after the tournament, when we're rolling out of town, these guys are being like, yo, you missed the craziest shit last night. These 2 black guys rolled into town, played country music. They were slaughtered for 3 hours. They played for 4 or 5. They were taking requests, anything they threw out. If they didn't know it, they figured it out on stage, sat with us between sets. We got hammered together. It was fucking dope.
Man, one of the last shows I ever saw before this pandemic hit was you and your brother playing at Fernando's, and you guys took requests, and it was one of the most hype shows I've ever been to.
Man, I appreciate that.
There were so many girls going wild for you boys, dude, and I was just like, let's go. This is such a vibe. But
that's what it's about, right? Connecting with people.
100%.
And so at the end of the day, like, that's why that's performing. That's why I love to be on stage, because I love people. I'm not going to text you all day, but I'll sing you songs all night. We'll have a good time. The thing is, put me on a mic, I'll say anything. I'll say too much. I share too much. I was like, damn, me and Jordan gotta talk. We're homies. Like,
hey, that's the point.
What does he want to talk about?
That's the point.
My heart is broken. But life is good, so there's lots to discuss.
Yeah, man. Well, we're gonna take a quick break.
Oh, let's do it.
And we'll be back in a minute, people. Pow.
Stood tall, I was broken, I was battered, I was bruised. Wouldn't let my heart get lost in my mind. I walked the path I paved with the blood and sweat I gave. Not a single soul followed close behind. I had written in stone the fights I fought were fought alone. Grew stronger and home was coming near. But when the sword that I drew shattered, I called to one for you.
Yeah, man. Keep me in line. I start always from the beginning, so like my stories can go on and on.
Ah, dude, it's all good. I have no idea what's going on. I'm not worried about it. All right, 3, 2, 1, and we're back, internet people.
Cheers.
I'm curious, how would you describe the Kelowna art scene, and what's your perspective on it since moving here into town and getting involved on the acting side and on the music side as well?
Great question. The Kelowna, I'll start with music because I moved here as a full-time musician. Mm-hmm. The acting has come up. But I've always known, obviously acting is part of me, and I've always known Kelowna has a strong scene. So it's been interesting to observe that scene in terms of acting for a while. But musically, artistically, Kelowna's small. Even as a city, it's small. 150,000 people. Saskatoon's 300,000 people. So in terms of the numbers, you see it even in the cuisine, like there's just not a lot of options. I think what I've noticed before I moved to Kelowna was a lot of Kelowna bands and artists would go to Vancouver as soon as something started happening. Because Vancouver is also part of the dream. And so a lot of people go that. But it's what everyone does. You go to LA, you go to Toronto, you go to Vancouver, you go to Montreal, you go to New York. You go to where everyone else goes.
My dad moved from Kelowna to Vancouver when he was 18. He was a drummer, pursuing the whole music career.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel you.
Wow. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think Kelowna now is discovering, when I moved here about 2.5 years ago, that I always say like that we're not overflow parking of Vancouver anymore. We're our own shit, and we've got talent here.
We're not overflow parking of Vancouver.
100%. 100%.
Such a good way of putting it.
I had people before we lived here when we go to the Western Canadian Music Awards, in Victoria, and meet Vancouver bands. They'd be like, don't come here. Don't come to Vancouver. It's so cliquey. It's so this. It's so that. It's hard to get shit going. It's hard to feel a part of community. It's so competitive. The same stuff I heard about LA when I was in high school, thinking about moving to a big city to pursue it more. Same things you hear about Toronto. It's not bad, but it's the reality of it. It's just a little bit harder.
It's a bigger city.
It's a bigger city, more competition. So it becomes a little bit more homogenized in terms of what comes out of those cities. And so you find casting directors and bookers we'll go to small towns and travel around to see what else is out there, to find those people that are building stuff or are not restricted by the boundaries of like the scene in their borough or neighborhood in their big city. They're just fucking artists. I mean, I don't know if you watch Drag Race, but it's like Utica, like as a designer, as a drag queen, like she's just like wild and does this crazy shit that you've never seen, but she comes from the tiniest town. Mm-hmm. And that's why, because she's never been restricted. And so I think Kelowna is in this weird transition spot of, all right, we didn't really invest in any infrastructure to provide venues. So for example, you're a musician in high school and you're kind of like, man, I would love to like sing my song somewhere, but not intense, like perhaps a coffee house. Are there any coffee houses in Kelowna? Like to show up to a coffee house and like play a coffee shop show?
Not well. If there is, it's like there's like that one spot on Pandosy in the Mission. Fuck, I'm forgetting their name. It's that weird. I
like
can't remember.
Marmalade
Like
Cafe?
maybe they can hold. And then there was like the Streaming Cafe.
They
back
shut
in
down.
the day, but they shut down.
And that
so
was
it's
the
like,
one few touring spot that people would play through, because I had some homies that would stop to play there.
Exactly. So it's like maybe you can perform as a small indie band,
But you probably
at a
could throw it
coffee shop.
together.
But yeah.
And
Yeah.
you don't even know that. You're already nervous.
And you're not going to be able to pay your bills that way.
No way. So at that stage, you don't have anywhere to go. So you look to an open mic. There were a few
Before COVID.
yeah. But outside of like that few number, the next stage after that is, all right, I'm maybe confident playing at open mics to people that aren't just my friends. Where do you play next?
And especially from a country perspective, like there's the OK Corral.
The Corral. And the Corral is, one of the only true like kind of pub venues to play where people are not restricted to kind of their seat. They can come and experience you. And that's a big thing in country music, is experiencing the music, not just from perhaps sitting, but being able to dance and two-step.
Dancing,
and like
two-step,
whatever.
line
So
dancing. Yeah,
every country bar
nine
always
yards.
has that element.
Even bull riding.
Even bull riding.
I've rode the bull once and I got thrown off right
I don't
away.
think I've ever ridden it.
You never rode a mechanical bull?
I have ridden many a mechanical bull, but never at the Corral.
Okay, dude. I'm sure you would handle it better than I did. I did it once and I jumped on backwards.
Oh.
And the guy with the mic, he was just like, this fucking idiot jumped on backwards. And I was riding it, switched around halfway through to the right side
Sounds
of it.
like you're killing it.
That's what I thought. And I looked at the guy and I was like, give me my fucking props. And he didn't. And then I got thrown off probably like 2 minutes later. And so
The guy with the controls, he's having none of that. You see them? Yeah, they work it. They're in control of that shit.
yeah. But yeah, the OK Corral. It's one of those only spots where it's like country music. They like to dance. They like the two-step. They like to do their whole thing.
And they're set up for it. Dunenzi's is another spot that's dope, especially the Mission location. Proper stage, great setup. People can have dinner. People could stand up and dance at the time.
And that's so new.
And that's so new. That was new. I went to the opening, and I've only been here 2.5 years.
Exactly.
So the opportunities for someone that wants to get into music are so few. So they're taken up by, They're taking the bands that are kind of established and comfortable. Take those slots, because why wouldn't you not hire the best you can hire? Now, if you're a band that is good and you want to go to the next level and you want to open for maybe a touring act of a same caliber band, well, touring bands don't come through here because they don't have a place to play unless you're going to Fernando's. And Fernando's is the only spot, and they can only book so many bands. But they book them every night and they do shows. And so there needs to be more of that, because there's no hope for a musician. It's kind of like from the beginning. If you just want to start being around the next level of musician, there's not a space for that, because there just isn't any spaces for musicians to perform, let alone create those more safe performing spaces and still have big shows. But again, Kelowna's a small city, so when everyone's out, it's kind of, you're at the same spot. And so I wonder too, like, we need to cultivate the culture of, let's pay $5, let's pay $10 to go out for a night. We don't know what band's playing. We're going to listen. Docs was like that before too. And they had certain restrictions around their bands. So it was hard to get to that level to be able to play 4.5 hours worth of music. An hour of music is probably 12 songs. You could say 12 songs is an hour of music. If you're going to play 3-4, that's like 50 songs. And then you want to mix it up. So you're going to need to know 60, 70, especially you want to be prepared to take requests. That's a lot of music to learn, to be able to perform at one of 4 or 5 locations that are already fully booked, that you need to compete with, that have long-withstanding relationships, on top of trying to build like a career of writing and recording your own songs. And so here, the idea of like performing covers and playing gigs to make money to fund your musical aspirations, it's not a reality, because even just that level is a fucking dogfight, and not even a fight, because it's been booked for years.
Even if you consider like just like the fucking cost of living here in town, like how can you be a fucking artist and especially a musician and pay your rent? It's just not going to happen in Western Canada at this point, which is just so sad.
Very difficult.
What was that kind of like cultural shock like for you when you moved from the East Coast to the West Coast and was pursuing this career? Because did you move out here with the intention to pursue a music career?
So me and my brother moved out here because my partner at the time got a job in Kelowna, and I always knew my bro wanted to move out, and we had just come back from like touring Dublin or Ireland. And things were going well. Things were going really well. And in fact, I mean, it's so weird to talk about yourself, your successes, but like, we're killing it. We have worked a long time and hard.
I love that video of you guys in Ireland on the street just performing, and then all these Irish dudes just coming up and just like dancing with you guys.
That's the culture, man.
And playing, right? Like,
that's the people. We would walk down the street with our guitars to like struggling, poor busing on the streets to survive. Which is so weird,
because I don't know if like, does Ireland have a country?
It's a small up and coming scene, but they love music.
Right.
They love acoustic raw music, and what we do is very like Acadian East Coast, like pub style music that's very folk and like passionate. And that's the UK. That's a lot of like Europe, because there's a deep appreciation for live music.
And you're a soccer fan also, aren't you?
Oh, love me some soccer.
What's your team?
Honestly, I don't follow as much anymore as I used to, but Arsenal.
Oh, that's better than Man United. I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm a Liverpool fan.
I was a Thierry Henry kind of guy. So.
That's fair. That's fair. So that guy's the GOAT.
I'm definitely more of like a World Cup. Being a struggling musician for so long, I didn't always have access to like TV and everything. So it's like hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah, fair.
But,
and so what like Ireland, like
insane.
We were just talking about that Acadian kind of like that jive, like not jive. It's like folk almost.
There's a happiness.
Yeah.
Two-step. What's the question?
What? I don't know. I don't know what the question is. I guess if I had to form the question, it would be like how did that experience shape you as a person? Like how do you, if you look back on that moment, what lessons did you learn from it, traveling to Ireland and playing music on the streets and jiving with those Irish people? Because my heritage is Irish.
Yeah, man.
My granny's straight out of Ireland.
Fuck.
Yeah, she's straight out of Ireland.
Literally got a pint of Guinness.
Oh, really? Oh, you got a pint of Guinness on your... Oh, fuck.
Yeah, for the lads
You're more
in the
Irish
family.
than I am.
Hey, don't
Would
say
you be mad if I copied that tattoo and got it done?
No, I wouldn't. Honestly, I mean, so me and my partner both got it together. So like, you could be a part of that trio, no doubt, man.
I'm gonna get a 4-leaf clover at some point on to represent my granny. But yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
I love Ireland. I love Irish people. I think what I learned over there is.
How long were you there for?
Like 10 weeks.
10 weeks. Okay.
10 weeks, maybe 8.
Okay. And what did you learn over there?
Oh, dude. The same thing you learn when you go to the East Coast. It's all about the people around you. You can get through anything. Because Ireland has like a rough history, and it's not over. Like some of the struggles are still very prevalent, but not as drastic as they used to be, which is amazing. But people are still struggling, you know, and you can say that about a lot of places in the world. There's a lot of great like prosperity and like amazing things happening, but as it's a country of people, and I think that's how they see themselves as well, which is so beautiful because there's so much passion. So you sit at the bar, you're chatting with someone, you're having a passionate conversation about something, or you know they've got something to say, or they've got an opinion, they've got a story, they've got history, they've got substance of some sort. If you get that opportunity, I mean, we would walk down the street. I think that relays into the art and the music and the appreciation for live music, and to meet at the pub after a long, hard fucking day and the weather's kind of shitty and you kind of just want to have a good time. So you're all inside, you know, a nice place.
The weather's kind of shitty. I'm pretty sure it's always shitty over there.
There's some beautiful days, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But you meet inside, and it's the same mentality you find in Saskatchewan and the prairies where it's fucking cold and brisk, but you all meet inside and you all want to be happy. So you meet in the pub and you're having some drinks and you're laughing and you're all singing, and there's someone playing guitar in the corner and you probably know them. So you go over, buy them a drink, and they sing you a song, and like that culture. But in Ireland, it's like historic. So Buddy comes in with there's just like a jam. People just slowly walk in and everyone has an instrument. It's not impressive to be a musician, but it's impressive to have something to say with your music. We'd be walking down the street because we didn't have a car and we couldn't afford a taxi, like walking an hour and a half to our gig. So everyone obviously saw us, but people were stopping on the street, be like, yo, where are you playing tonight? If we tell them, they'd show up. It's that kind of appreciation for music and art and culture and an experience. Who knows why they pulled over, but they were obviously interested in the fact that there was music to be had.
Why is that missing from our current culture? Because I'm not to toot my own horn, but I feel like that's how I feel. Like if I see somebody on the street playing music, or if I see somebody,
do you give them money?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you stop and listen?
All the time, 100%.
Nice.
But that's because actually I know the answer. It's because I've been the musician.
Yeah.
I've been the guy who just wants, and I still am the guy who just wants people to see my art. Yeah. You know. So, but what is that about Ireland where it's like that's everybody? It's not just the musicians.
So much
it's not
music,
just the artists.
There's so much culture there that it pours onto the street. It was hard pressed to find a bar with a DJ. Like you can find it because electronic music is massive and huge, but you got to work. You got to know where to go because you're on the street. You're hearing live music every block downtown. You're, like Temple Bar. Like there's the fucking busking police. I still have our ID tags because they were fucking savage. Because the busking is the first step to being a musician. Right. You don't need a venue in Dublin because every spot is a venue. You got to earn your place you just got to show that you can get in there, and you can. And so in Dublin, in Ireland, in lots of places, you start as a musician, you start on the street.
So did you guys start as a street and then get a venue while you were there?
Yeah.
Damn.
We were busking to survive. Like we got held in at the airport. We weren't let into the country immediately because we didn't have enough money because my brother didn't save that much.
So wait. Let's go back. Why did you go to Ireland in the first place if you don't have the money?
Well, you plan a tour and you have your dreams. So this is the thing, man. Doing music was also an avenue to travel and experience life. You got to sacrifice a lot,
100%.
But you got to know what your goals are.
Same with video and photography. You want to experience the world, and you're like, hey, maybe I can get a job across the border, across the fucking
why not
Atlantic or Pacific or whatever the fuck we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly.
Sorry, continue.
No. But that's the thing, right? And so at some point you need to decide, what am I chasing? Am I chasing my dreams, or am I just chasing kind of like the dream of what they say? And it's like, I'm not sacrificing all of this time and effort and not being able to allow myself to have friends and like learn what a normal life can be like, which I'm only experiencing the first time now since COVID, what it's like to be around you know, like, because I'm only making money and surviving when I'm gone. And when I'm not gone, people are asking, you're a musician? Like, you even make money? Like kind of like tearing you down, you know?
Yeah.
And so for us, it's like you apply for the grants, you try and make it happen. If you don't get accepted, I'm not chasing this based on your opinion of me. I'm chasing this for me. And so just because I don't get the grant to make this easier, I'm still going to fucking do it.
And so what made you guys decide to go to Ireland in the first place?
Opportunity in terms of, so research wise, demographics internationally that have a country music, if not folk scene, that could be a business first step. Connections, networking, met some friends that had gone there before and toured with an agent. And they connected us with her, Sarah Jane, the Murphy sisters, my fucking heart. They supported us in terms of setting up some showcases, and we were interacting before we went and just talking about like what it would take to get there. And they'd come here and, you know, like, it's not an Asian artist relationship. It's like family. Two family bands of siblings that are trying to make shit happen in each country that have a similar vibe and style, helping each other out. And so they provided some like realistic knowledge and opportunity, like 100%. Like one thing we don't do is make up accommodations. We roll into Dublin, like having toured some like parts of Canada, Toronto, Ontario, and then like the Nova Scotia at the time. And my bro didn't save that much money, so it was all my savings. And we were having a good time in Toronto, so kind of spent a big chunk of it there in the first couple of weeks, as you do. And then roll into Dublin to be there for 10 weeks. And they're like, well, you don't have that much money. Like, you don't have the standard amount for someone who's coming here on vacation for 10 weeks. And we're like, well, we're not coming here on vacation. We're here for music.
We're here for work.
And they were like, two bartenders that quit their jobs in Canada to come to Dublin to not bartend or work. Like, there was that assumption of like to take some of their jobs.
I experienced that when I went to LA with the Rare Breed boys and the Ambrosios and stuff like that. Is they're just like, why are you here? And we're like, well, because I don't know. I don't think I can get arrested or fucking at this point, but it was just like, it's like we're here for vacation, but we're here to work. And they're like, what's your work? And I'm like, I'm a photographer, videographer. And they're like, that's not work. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so it's like,
everyone
it's that weird
says that.
Disconnect. Yeah, it's that weird disconnect. But yeah, so
they were the nicest though. The people were so nice to us. They're like, you want coffee, tea, anything? Like, they're just doing their job, and we weren't being anything. We're like, yeah, you're 100% valid, and you're like proud to see the work is being done. You know, like, well, they let us in. And so we also didn't have a place to stay or anything, but we just knew we had the one night with one of the sisters at her place, and worked out. I feel
like I'm disrespecting my heritage by drinking Japanese whiskey right now while we're talking about Ireland.
Next time we'll have some Jameson and Guinness.
We got it.
But hey,
actually, you know what?
It's beautiful.
Fuck it. I've drank so much Jameson in my life.
Right?
I don't feel like I'm disrespecting.
No, it's not disrespect.
This is so good.
It's
by the
delicious.
way. Yeah,
Japanese whiskey.
Introduced me to this.
Explore it, man. Explore it.
Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Hey,
continue,
no interruptions.
Continue.
This is all good. This is what it's about. Cheers.
Continue. Cheers
to the Japanese.
To the Japanese. Have you been to Japan?
No, I wish.
Oh, me too.
Oh, damn. Let's go. That's why I got the Guinness too. It's kind of like I'm always cheersing to Dublin and to Ireland. Always. So it's like I have no shame. You, on the other hand, I understand.
Okay, so they let you in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So all the small details, we find accommodation. It works out. I mean, whatever. I don't know how it is, but we always find a place to stay. Not plan any accommodations forces you to make connections, and to allow help to be offered, and forces you to accept it. That's a nice way of saying, like, God damn, just can you help us? and it worked out well. But you know, that's Dublin. That's what you find. That's what you say you find in Newfoundland. That's what you say and find the East Coast. That's what you assume and expect, because it's about the people, and people care about people there. And we witness that every day. We fucking bust to survive, and like literally because we had no money. And then all of a sudden we found out, all right, we're not going to be kind of bumming around through hostels. We're going to have an opportunity to live in a house with rent, with roommates. We need to make money. And in fact, we need to make more money. We needed to make money before. And so put the pressure on in terms of busking and working and being on the street and putting yourself out there and giving you that hustle of like, learn music, sing every day. And we were walking, it was a 45-minute walk to the spot we busked one way with a guitar case, and it's falling apart. And that's what it is. That's what it is to be a musician. You gotta love it because it's brutal.
How long were you guys in Ireland for?
10 weeks, I want to say. It honestly could be 8, but it felt too short regardless.
Yeah.
It's my home. It's
you feel a connection to that.
100%. I mean, I literally snap and talk with the people I met. I was talking with them yesterday. My girl got a car yesterday.
Damn.
Another girl is she's fucking putting up electrical poles, and she was working for the boys for like not Scout Canada, but like Scouts, like International. Just meeting so many people like on the street working. We ran into our homie Megan LeGrand at the CC Mesa the Canadian Country Music Awards in fucking Calgary 2 years ago. And she's a violinist that fucking busts and kills it in Dublin in the streets. It's just like, it's a bunch of amazing people doing amazing things. And all these people just wanted to support us. We're like, you guys are cool. We're going to drink cheap Tesco lager beers with you in the park, welcome you into our life. And that life was just being an Irish person in the pubs, drinking Guinness, busking to decide between, do I get to eat like a warm meal tonight, or am I buying cheese and bread, or am I buying a Guinness? Like,
man.
And that was it. But I fucking loved it, man. Like, that is what it is to travel as a musician and to experience and connect.
Music is a universal language at the end of the day.
Yeah. And then you find yourself caught up in the middle of the night after like a show. We played a show to no one except the agent of the band that we were opening for. And where were we? We were in Kilkenny. And then we were waiting for the bus to go back to Dublin was at like 3 a.m. And the show was done by like 11. And we were just sitting around waiting for the bars to close. People started pouring out of the streets. We set up, started busking. Had one of the craziest nights we've ever had. Busking like 50 people around us, just going ham, singing like Mumford and Sons. Oh, and just everyone's like, and it was not your fault, but and it's just raw, real, like what you imagined music was like and should be. And there's such a respect for artists in that way there, where it's like, you guys have a guitar, you're playing songs we know, this is a show, and it's like for all of us. And like no one's like stealing your money, they're throwing cash in your guitar case. And it's like, thank you for this experience. And we're living it to the fucking max. And then it dissipates, the night goes on. And then there you have it. We've made €200 all of a sudden from just pouring our hearts out on the fucking street to people that want to be there. And then we sit there smiling as happy as can be, having got to open for a band, make relationships in a business sense. And yeah, it's rough in the beginning. But if you've got the passion to just pour it out there for people, people will come. And that's what I fucking learned, man. And so it doesn't matter what the business says or the industry says. All that matters is that you have something to offer, and that those people that are looking for that too, you put yourself in situations where you can connect. Because you never know what's going to fucking happen. And that's the only reason why we do what we do. Is it not?
100%, man.
Is it not?
100%. That's what it's got to be about at the end of the day. It's just that connection, that love, that respect that we have for one another.
Yeah. And it's fucking exciting. And I want that for Kelowna, because I think Kelowna is at a stage where when I moved here, it was like people are realizing that like people are willing to pay money. People are willing to pay cover. Mm-hmm. That's the first step. Just to get into a club, bar, anything. People are willing to wait in line, and people are willing to pay cover for quality and start respecting. And then you start to see DJs pop up and be like, oh, I like this DJ. I don't like this DJ. And then now the venues are thinking, all right, we need to bring some acts in here that people like.
Facts.
And then an artist thinks, I want to book a gig. I just got to bring my friends.
Facts.
Because that's where we're at. And if you can fill a room, I mean, this is crazy to say, but we've been here 2.5 years. We won the contest to perform at Denim on the Diamond. And like, just by being like seasoned and strong performers and musicians.
You guys are filling rooms.
You
guys are filling rooms.
And not in a major way, but for our fourth, fifth territory to be building a home and a base and a connection and community. It's incredible that it's happened so quickly. And I only am lucky to say that it's because we know how to put a show together, because the venues here, a lot of venues are open to shows, but they don't know how to host it. So we can come in and say, let's throw up, this is how much it'll cost, $100 to rent the gear for the night. We'll take care of it. We'll set it up. We'll host a show as long as you want live music for your fans.
Malusi, man, I 100% agree. And unfortunately, we have to kind of wrap this up and bring it to an end. But I think a part 2 is going to be very necessary for you and your bro to come on. Where can the people find you? Where can they support you? And do you guys have any shows coming up? Any albums being released? Like, what's going on with you in the future here?
You want the truth.
I want the tea, buddy. I want the tea. Spill it.
I'll tell you this. There's nothing set in stone, but like I said, I'm hungry and I'm fucking inspired. So there's lots to come. We didn't even dive into the acting bit. And so that's been...
No, we didn't.
That's been coming up hard. It's been forcing its way back into my life.
You can touch on it.
I'll say this.
We got time.
It's been forcing its way back into my life, which is proof that, it's a part of me. And so I'll be diving fully back into that. You're going to see more nut juice. I'll tell you that. And the other part of that is it's not just the opportunities that come through the woodwork. It's about creating shit now for the community in Kelowna and for myself, which is the dream. And so to be on this podcast, man, I appreciate it. I'm lucky. I'm honored.
The pleasure is mine, my friend.
We're going to make some dope shit. I mean,
Facts.
You can expect an EP mixtape, expect more soul, expect more hip hop, expect more folk country music, but all together. Think Leon Bridges, think Ed Sheeran, think Florida Georgia Line, all that in one. Just whatever is in our hearts is going to come out truly, and not just in an audio format, but in a visual format. It's going to be, writing some shit in terms of making sure that this smile gets to debut itself on the silver screen as big as possible. Of course, would love to write a musical, so think as big as you can think. That's what we're working on as a solo artist, but also as Unified Mabaleka and beyond, because it's about the community now. Like, we need to put Kelowna on the map and be an example for like what fucking great art can be.
Where can people find you on Spotify, Apple Music, that whole kind of thing?
Mabaleka Brothers, of course. MabalekaMusic.com. Malusi Goosey, hit the Instagram.
Malusi Goosey, hit it up.
Trying to post more in there.
And where can people find you for your acting? What are some gigs that you've been in recently? That you said the nut juice. I think you got to elaborate on that a little bit.
Honestly, yeah. So I've been in the commercials, that Earth's Own, Almond Milk. So fortunate to be getting these gigs and just being able to support amazing things. All you students on fucking BC campuses, you'll see me in some of those sexual violence prevention ads, giving you that knowledge.
I just heard sexual and I started laughing. That's just that's my ignorance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been breaking into porn recently, trying to pave my way. So all you students out there, hit me on Pornhub / No.
Serious.
Yeah,
Serious.
safety. Serious. Sexual violence prevention. Ask for consent. Staff and student. Otherwise, you'll see me out there, and hopefully more. I mean, I have an agent, which is amazing, and never had that before. Book It Talent, shout out, really making it opportunities, and honestly, just supporting the overall Okanagan. And so, I've been lucky that I get to get involved with so many local businesses. But if you want a sexy black man in your photos or ads, ask my brother. Just kidding. Yeah, honestly.
Just kidding. He's not it.
You got the real deal. Come
Or
to
you can
number
get
one.
both of them.
Or you can get the
both of you guys.
Get us all. But that's the thing, it's like at this point, I don't know where I'll be, but I know it's gonna be everywhere.
Facts, man.
Because it's about the community and having some fucking fun, but also supporting good shit. So ask for consent. Drink that nut juice. Motorworks. Thank you. Drive safe.
Malusi, I gotta be honest, bro. You're one of my favorite dudes in town, bro. And I thank you for coming on the Jordan Powers Experience.
Man.
Thank you for expressing your opinions and your viewpoint that you've been doing out here. And man,
it's an honor.
The fucking this is the dumb quote that I have, but the clam's your oyster. The clam's your oyster, man.
I love clams and I love oysters, so this is my shit.
Shuck it, baby. Shuck it.
Hit the bubbles.
Cheers, man.
Always.
Cheers, man. All right. We'll see you later, people.